with us now exclusively, former Vice President Dan Quayle. Mr. Vice President, it's great to see you. We haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a while.
It has.
Thank you.
So bring us up to date here. When all of this started a year or so ago, those 17 GOP candidates standing on that stage, could you have imagined with governors and senators in that group that it would end up with Donald Trump, inexperienced businessman, real estate mogul, capturing the Republican nomination?
No. And I don't think very many people did, except himself, his family. There's a few people that said, watch Donald Trump. But I don't think anybody expected him to win the nomination. And quite frankly, I'm not sure that he really thought that he could win. But he's a winner. He knocked off 16 Republican candidates. He is going to be the nominee. He's the presumptive nominee. And now the party's going to have to unify around someone that they did not expect to be their nominee.
Obviously, this candidacy of Donald Trump has exposed some fault lines in the Republican Party. And there are some people who call themselves never Trumpers. And then there are some who are on the Trump train. Which category do you fall into?
Well, look, I was the Republican vice president. I've been a Republican all my life. I'm going to support the nominee. And I predict that most people in my position or people that have been in the Republican Party for a long time will rally around the nominee. I fully expect that Paul Ryan will eventually support Donald Trump publicly. I hope that happens because we do have to be unified. If we're not unified, then we have a lot of trouble, let's say.
Let me ask you about qualifications. And in all honesty, your qualifications were questioned when you became vice president. People worried whether you had the experience to be vice president or president, if that would happen. Do you think Donald Trump has the experience, the knowledge, and the temperament to be president?
We're going to find out. Because
right now, do you think, though?
Right now, he's the nominee. There's a great, not a majority, a plurality in the Republican Party that clearly believes that. I believe he has the capability to be president of the United States, and he's into a new phase now. He's gotten through the nomination. That's one. And quite frankly, the nomination is a much lower bar than being the nominee. Now he's got to show the American people, not that he can beat other Republicans, but he's got to build upon his base. He's got to move forward, and he's got to articulate a vision that the American people say, yes, he is qualified. I don't know what the answer is that to most of the people, but clearly he's got good political instincts. He has a good business background. He's a winner, and he's unusual. He's obviously very different. He's not going to play by the rules. It's a different situation, but I think that he can win.
Is there anything about how he's conducted the race so far in terms of tone and temperament that gives you pause or gives you concern? Or if you had him sitting across from you, you'd say, you know what, maybe not do it that way?
Well, here's what I think that he will do and needs to do. He really needs to get more involved in the policy. He made a speech on foreign policy. He's got to make another speech on foreign policy. He's got to make speeches on the economy. He's got to show that he's presidential. He's not running in a primary anymore. He's won that. Now he's got to figure out how to win the general election. He knows how to win.
Well, by the way,
whether it's in business or politics, he knows how to win.
He spoke out yesterday and said, by the way, don't expect me to become a different person. He said he has a mandate from his followers to run a fiery outsiders campaign. Doesn't sound like he's going to do what you're suggesting he should do.
He can run that fiery outsiders campaign, but he has to realize, and I'm sure he does. Look, he's been around this a long time. He actually thought about being and suggested that he should be the vice president back in 1988 when George Bush selected me. So he's followed politics, and he knows full well it's a different campaign once you're the nominee. And I fully expect fiery, yes, unconventional, yes, but it's going to be different. It has to be. It's a different type of campaign. He's running for in the general election. He's running probably against Hillary Clinton, although there's the news story. We know who our nominee is going to be before the Democrats know who their nominee is going to be. So, no, different tone.
Is he as qualified as she is?
Well, on paper, you'd say, well, she's more qualified. But you know what? He's more qualified in the sense that the American people, I think, want an outsider. And they want an outsider this time. She is not an outsider. So if you're looking for an outsider, no, she's not qualified, and he is.
Simple question. Should he turn over his tax returns?
He's not going to do that.
I know, but should he? Every presidential candidate going back decades has done so.
Let me just give you a little news flash here. This is going to be different. He's a different candidate. It's going to be a different campaign, so stay tuned. Just remember this. Expect the unexpected.
His vice presidential candidate should be?
Rob Portman. senator from Ohio. Be a great choice, man of stature, substance. You pick him, you'd say that's the way he's going to govern. Rob Portman.
You should come back more often. Vice President Quayle, it's good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.